Welcome back for another episode of Dreamers Den podcast. And if you're back with us, thank you for joining us again. So today I have a special guest coming on, and she is a fellow entrepreneur and mom. So we're gonna talk to her about her new app that's coming out, My Buzz Buddy. And we're gonna talk about her about some other things, entrepreneur, mompreneur, and just some things that I found that we have in common. So I want to welcome Marilyn Hadidian. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Can't wait to get started, and I'm looking forward to. I'm inviting myself coming back.
Absolutely, absolutely. I always welcome everybody back. Let's jump right into it. So tell us about yourself and how you got started on your entrepreneur journey.
So I actually, it's interesting because I come from corporate America, and I guess I still have one leg in corporate America. My background is in geology. I'm a professional geologist. But I have always, right through high school and college, been business minded. Actually, when I meet people from high school and college now, that's one of the things they remember about me and my sister. I have an older sister, and we would always think of things to do during the holidays or at school. We would think of things to do or to sell to make extra money, pocket money and stuff. So I I want to say it just came naturally to us, and it was something we always did. And even though I, like everyone else, you go to college, get a degree, get a great job, or whatever you think the dream is, I think that what you need to be doing always finds you. And I fell back into business about maybe 3, 4 years ago, and it was quite by accident. Where well, I first of all started, I like to read, I do a lot of reading. And so I got to the point getting married, having kids, being a mom, and everything else. I just found that I would buy books, and my pile would just keep getting bigger and bigger, and no time to read. So the first thing I started was a book box, a subscription book box, audio book box. And it was my get your reading fix on the go solution. And so just little things like that. I do own a bookstore. So it was really from something I love to do, a hobby. And once the entrepreneurial bug bites you, I say there's no turning back. And then starting my business, I had my girlfriends who watching me, and I became the go-to. Okay, Marilyn's doing the subscription box. She has the bookstore. Marilyn, what are you doing? How did you I'm originally from Africa, and I registered a nonprofit. It's a little over 10 years old now, and we do women, often orphans, and single moms, women, and then youth. And it's a charity thing. And so it was like, Marilyn, what paperwork did you use? How did you register your 501c3? How did you register your business? What are you doing to grow your business? And just from that, and then the girlfriend will tell someone else, go talk to Marilyn. And so by the time I had like 3 or 4 girlfriends coming to me for business advice, I found myself becoming a business coach. Honestly, find you. I just fell into it and I love it. And so I started my company, Sister Buzz, for the business coaching. And basically, the idea being that we help you with business strategies and put the buzz on your business and that. And I've been loving it. And the app, which we're going to talk about later, is actually born out of that coaching and business growth strategy frame of mind of, okay, how do we take it to the next level? But really talking about me and how I started, that's really it, I think, by accident, where it wasn't intentional, but it was something that I just started doing and enjoying, and it just grew. And here I am today.
I think that is the beauty of it. We kind of have similar backgrounds with like doing coming up with things as children. Like I went through the phase of selling candy and handmade
Mhm.
jewelry and things like that. And I talk to people also about how I started off. Well, doing. I wasn't doing website design. I was blogging, but of course, I had to
Hmm.
learn to create and manage my own website. And then from there, people saw it and they wanted help from me. And then after
Mhm.
that, it's like, well, what do I do now? Like, how do I get the
Yeah,
business to my website?
it
So it,
finds you.
yeah, the beauty of it is like you do things that you love and you're passionate about.
Yeah,
And then like from there, like you said, it finds you. You don't have to chase, it just comes to you.
yeah, yeah,
So I love
yeah.
that. Now, you mentioned being a geologist and you said that it is a male dominated industry. Now, I remember when being I come from the financial industry, but
Hmm.
remember being a financial professional and being in this office that was full of males. It was very few females. Um, Most of them were well, it was about three females, and I remember like they gave this like false sense of competition in between us, and it was just
The
all
girls.
these crazy things going on. I'm hoping your story is a little bit different from that. I'm hoping it's positive, but most of the time,
Mine actually, as a geologist, and I think that I have never felt competition from a fellow female geologist. And really, my experience, and I think it's pretty common, is that there are not that many of us for now. I'm
mhm,
hoping it changes.
yeah.
um, Even through college, we were always supportive of each other, where you would have a group of 30 geologists, and out of the 30, it would be just us two girls. So we had to support each other. And you go on a month-long field trip, you better get along with the other girl in the group. You better. Yeah. And so, because you're doing all these things, and it's you're roughing it, really. You can't, it's not get up and put your makeup on, it's get up and put your steel toes on. And so you better get along with the other
Yeah.
girls. So I have never felt any competition from a fellow female geologist. And I would say, even with the males, really, um, throughout college, I never really felt any sense of competition. It was there were some, you would have guys who would be like, you want to do a guy's job, so they they don't want to help you. I'm a geologist, but I'm a firm believer that God made men to be stronger than women for a reason. And if I have a huge piece of rock, and I we have guys in the group, and we have to trek a mile to camp, I think the guys should carry. I think they should carry I think they should carry the bag that's full of rocks, right?
Right.
I believe that. And I had where some guys would be like, well, you want to be a geologist, you can carry your own bag or your own rocks to camp. And I also had guys who were like, you doing okay, Marilyn? You need a hand. So it was a mixed experience in college. But corporate America, I think, is more just being corporate America. And I think, just like you alluded to from the finance world, I think regardless of whether it would have been geology or any other profession, there's always that competition. I actually, I think there's some kind of a unspoken competition going on between engineers and geologists. And it's the I the pressure or the resistance that I have felt as a female in a male dominated industry came, I would say, from where being passed over for promotions, maybe, because they're used to when guys, I mean, you go out for beers after work, after hours. I'm a geologist, yes, but I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm going home.
Mm.
But the guys are going to go out and have beer. So when it comes time for promotion, who's going to get promoted first? It's the guy who has beer, who goes out for beer with the boss. Or instances where just because it's a male dominated industry, when you apply for a job, um, the guy's more likely to get it, and they might not realize they're discriminating, but in their mind it's a man's job, and it's easier for them and more comfortable for them to hire a man because they don't want to worry about hiring a girl. So having that needing to prove yourself or show that you can do it, or when you're s- in the sun in steel toes and hat for 12 hours in the sun, and wishing you could sit down, but you're not going to sit down because you're a girl and you don't want to hear comments about this is not a job for a girl, things
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I've experienced, where it's really just, I don't want to use the word biases, but just the way society views, where they think this is a job for a guy. And so if they were going to hire, they would rather hire a guy, even if he's a little slightly less qualified, maybe, things
Mhm.
like that. So I will say that I have seen that. Um, and you get to a point where you're just like, you know what? my my future, my promotion, my life, whatever I do or do not do is in God's hands. It's not in some coworker or some boss or just in any, it's in God's hands. And you get to that
Absolutely.
point where now you can just relax and do your job. And I found that eventually when people realize that you can actually do the job, they relax a little bit. So but yeah, I think just any profession that's male dominated, I think any girl who ventures into it is gonna have to deal with those preconceived ideas, where it's either they're gonna be like, whatever, you signed up for it," or they're gonna be like, "Oh, I think I don't want to have to hold just because you're a girl, they might assume you can't get the job done."
Mhm.
But that is corporate America. Well, the corporate world. I don't want to say corporate America. I think it's just corporate culture worldwide, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked about and seen like details on some of those assumptions that they make, especially for women who are mothers. And you brought up a valid point about that, like how you go home at the end of the day, like, and I get that building that relationship, but oftentimes men have a luxury of saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go get a
Yeah.
beer," because we're the ones taking care of the
Yeah,
baby. So,
exactly. Exactly. I mean, I I've had instances where the guys that I started out with, a lot of I mean, I've had guys tell me that, oh, they tell me we have openings, like you can make so much more money. I don't I think it is easier for men, yes. But at the same time, I don't want to just generalize and say it's easier for men. But I've had people that I started with or worked with who left to go to other jobs and they make more money, and they have wives who stay home moms because they can afford it, and
mhm,
things like that. Like you said, we're the homemakers, especially if you're in a traditional home, which I don't know that we have a lot of that anymore.
right.
But I think um, society is changing, where you now see some stay-home dads, yes. But I have personally experienced where I've had former coworkers go get a job that pays really well, and they're like, "Marilyn, you could be making so much money." But um, I never lead with the money, because as a woman, I'm thinking, to me, the payoff of being able to go to a PTA meeting, and to be at a job where you can actually take time off to go to a PTA meeting, or take your child to the doctor, something else where you can do that. To me, I value that more. Of course, I like money.
Yeah.
But I think for us as women, we do tend to um, think about that more, which is probably why some people don't like to hire women. They don't know what they're missing.
Yeah,
but,
right.
but I'm not going to pretend. I don't pretend that you can have it all. I don't think that I can be a superstar at work and go to every after hour, whatever, and be a great mom. And I don't pretend. Something has to give. And if you find a middle ground where you can do both, and I think to me that's a blessing. I
Mhm.
don't think you can every time they need someone to fly out. I've had to go one time I had to this is what when I was single, I did a lot more field work, and I would go for a month and stay at a hotel and it was fine. And when by the time you get married and you have a kid, it's great, but you start thinking about other things where when I had to go, I think I was gone for maybe a week, two at the most. I had to go to the Virgin Island for work,
Mhm.
and my husband and I we had to figure out that. I think that was the first time we got a babysitter because we had tried consciously to not have babysitters. So those are things that you consider, and something has to give. I don't think you can be a superstar at work and be a superstar at home. You have to find a balance.
Right. I totally agree. You have to, it's like one of our biggest things is having to prioritize all the time because,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
things change quick and we have to adjust. So
yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
But that has translated into you starting your own business and your own company and the networking that you may not be able to do at work. You're creating opportunities for yourself and for others to do that. So how has networking helped you to grow your business?
It's been actually I don't think it's possible to grow a business without networking. I don't think it's possible. Now, what form networking takes might be different um, depending on your business or what your product or your service is. It might be different. I don't think
Right.
that one size fits all, but it's impossible to grow a business without networking. And when I say networking, I mean actual connecting,
Hmm.
not just um, having a lot of people on your feed or whatever you
Right.
do. I think networking is actually connecting with people. That's really what networking is. And you can't grow your business without connecting with people who know what you're offering, what you have to offer, how your offer can help them, how you can maybe collaborate or, and not even just that, networking, not just with helping you to get which is what it has done for me is to help me gain visibility with my brand and my business. It helps me gain. That's what we're doing right here. We're connecting, and I'm not going to walk away from this podcast and not remember who Danielle is. You know what I mean? We're
Right.
connecting, and I know what you do, and all that about you. To me, that's networking. That's the kind of networking that I'm always aspiring to do. I tell people that networking is not um, joining 100 Facebook groups and not connecting with anybody and just posting um, offers and stuff or whatever it is
Hmm.
that no one's
Exactly.
even looking at. That's spam. Something that you pour your heart into a product and you don't take the time to actually connect and engage with people and get yourself properly visible because there
Right.
are all kinds of visibility. There's visibility that's known as spam. I mean, it's true. It is.
Hmm.
People see you, but they don't want to see you. They're not gonna. They
Yeah,
just
you're
delete.
annoying to them.
Yeah. So you did achieve a goal. But did you present yourself well? And that's where I always say networking involves connecting and engaging. It's not just showing up. And
Mhm.
even when you talk about with the old fashioned way of networking, with the BNIs, where you would go to a lunch meeting to meet people and network,
Yeah,
you,
I
you
remember
don't,
those.
I know, me too. I do. And you show up, and a lot of people hated those
I did.
because, yeah, I think 90% of the people I know who did it hated it. Because you show up and you can't just sit there, even though you're eating a nice lunch or whatever. You got to talk to the person across the room at the table and find common ground and connect.
Mhm.
And that's what
Right.
people hated about it, that they had to connect in order to be effective. And when people come online to the virtual space because you're not face to face, they forget that one important rule of networking: you have
Mhm.
to connect. You have to start that conversation,
Right.
and they forget that. You so, but to me, um, I have found that engaging with people, connecting with people, um, it's a two-way street,
Mhm.
and I like to
Exactly.
keep it that way. But it has been very effective and helpful to me, not only growing as a businesswoman, but in also getting visibility for my business.
Yes, absolutely. I like what you said about the being. I hated it. At that time, like I was younger and I had no idea what to do with that, first of all.
A
But
lot of people hated it.
um I would, everybody would come and have their business cards out and introduce themselves. And then like for me, so many people were in that same financial services industry. It's like, oh, it's another one here. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, so it was like you said, I had no idea what to do with that and no idea like how to just like you said, genuinely organically introduce yourself and have a real conversation with people.
Hmm.
So, but now that I know better, it took me doing it, and it's crazy. It took me doing it
Yeah,
online to learn better. But now that I know
yeah,
better, you know that the core and the foundation of it is, like you said, it's thinking about everybody involved. It's not just thinking about what you can get out of it. It's thinking
yeah,
about what you can give and just having, a mutual relationship and everything else follows
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's a two-way street. Yeah.
Mhm. Now, what else would you tell entrepreneurs about the power of networking?
Um, I think something that lately has been um what's the word I'm looking for? Lately I've been talking about it a lot. I yeah, it'll come to me, but something that has been resonating with me
Mm,
lately is being consistent. It's something I'm working on for myself too. I don't know that a lot of us realize that regardless of what you're doing for your business, even with your kids, your family, it's a principle, and a lot of things are habit forming. If you're trying to teach your 2-year-old or 3-year-old to brush their teeth, you have to be consistent about it until they get it. If you're
mhm.
teaching them how to eat the proper way, or whatever you're trying to teach a kid, you have to stick with it and be consistent with it till they get it. And it's the same with our business. It's the same. My husband tells me, Marilyn, you gotta stick with it. It's the same when I'm scolding our son, and I tell him that. And my husband's like, Marilyn, you need to be consistent about it. You can't scold him for doing it today and tomorrow just let him get away with it. So
Yeah,
it's the
like I'm
same.
tired today. Just do what you want.
My husband's like, you can't do that. You got to be consistent. And it's the same in business. And that's something that I'm translating into my business, where a lot of us don't realize that when you talk about, we do talk about putting out great content or whatever you do and being consistent with it. But a lot of people don't realize that when you're engaging people and connecting with people and networking, you have to be consistent about it too. You have to be consistent about everything that relates to your business. that consistency has to be there. And that's something that lately it's been resonating with me, that not just consistency in branding, not just consistency with your content, or whatever you else you're doing. We don't tend to think of networking in terms of doing it consistently. Um, because, and like you and I talked about, we hated those networking meetings.
Yeah.
And if we could get away with only doing it once a quarter, we were
Mhm.
lucky, or once a year, you were lucky. And so that mentality, but the people, if you recall and think back, the people who got good at it and the people who did well with it were the people who did more often and were consistent with it.
Right.
And so in the virtual world, it's the same, where even in networking, in virtually getting out to meet people, virtually connecting with people, we have to be consistent in that and make sure that we keep that consistency. And we will see the results. It could be huge results right away, but even if it's not, it's still going to be huge results eventually. You will always see the results. It's just a matter of when, how quickly.
Exactly. And I think that a lot of people do, like they'll try it one or two times, and then if they don't
Mhm.
see what they're looking for, then they throw in the towel. And
They get
so,
discouraged,
yeah,
or they feel overwhelmed with just having to do it. I think a lot of it too might be personality driven too.
yeah,
where some people, personality wise, they excel at stuff like that. They love it, even the
the
face to
life of
face
the party.
networking. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now you, speaking of networking, are creating like innovative solutions, like you're creating innovations in within networking. So you have this new app that you're rolling out called My Buzz Buddy. And is it for specifically for female entrepreneurs, or tell us about that. Tell us about your app.
I can tell you about my app from now till tomorrow until you stop me. But thank you. It's actually not just for females. It's for all entrepreneurs. It is an entrepreneurial app, yes, but it's for both male and female, and it's for business networking, business to business and business to consumer. And the whole premise is, and it's really a lot of it is based around what we've been talking about: consistency in your networking to grow your business, consistency in building relationships to grow your business, consistency in meeting the right people to grow your business. So it is a networking app that matches entrepreneurs with leads. So when you sign up, you set up your profile and answer some questions, and based on that, it will match you with people who are um, like I say qualified leads to a great extent, because it's based off the people you say you're looking for. So and it can match you up. You can collaborate. You connect with your matches to collaborate or offer your services, and you take a quarter. We do the matching quarterly, and you take a quarter to actually connect. And I'm very passionate is not the word, but I'm very adamant about the fact that networking and growing a business is about relationships.
Mhm.
And so when you get your matches, you get them quarterly, and you're supposed to go form relationships with your matches and make sales, maybe not make sales, but form relationships and grow your business. Because if you don't sell today, you're going to sell tomorrow, but you're now visible to more people. um, but you're supposed to nurture those matches each quarter, and that's why you get it quarterly. You nurture the matches, and then next quarter you get a new set of matches, and you actually form relationships with them. And the goal of the app is the connection, obviously, with the lead generation, connecting you with people and your matches, and also visibility, growing your visibility. and we want to do this, but and we want to make you actually connect with your matches and not just not show up. So that in a quick summary is what my Buzz Buddy does. Is it connects you with matches every quarter based on what you set up on your profile that you're looking for. And you go connect with your matches, make sales, collaborate, and grow your business. We have a ton of other features on the app,
Mm-hmm.
but the main feature is the entrepreneur matching that we do. So it's kind of like it's a dating app for entrepreneurs, really.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Uh, it is a dating app for entrepreneurs, yes.
Well, it sounds like it makes that process easier, and like that's something I could have used back then when I'm like I have no idea what to do. But I think that's great because you still are responsible for doing the work and like you said, showing up and being consistent and presenting your business in the right way. But
Mm-hmm.
that filtering process or that matching process that you talked about,
Mm-hmm.
it does kind of, like you said, help qualify, um help simplify that funnel so that people who
Mm-hmm.
aren't like a good fit, who aren't a good match, or who just aren't interested in that, like it kind of narrows that down. So I think that's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, one of the things we say on the app is set up a profile that's worthy of your brand. That's one of the things we say on the welcome screen is come, okay, now let's go set up a profile that's worthy of your brand. When
Mm,
you're setting up your profile, keep in mind who you're trying to meet, what kind of impression you want to make, and all that when you set up your profile. When you answer those questions, keep in mind who you want to get matched with. And it does take away a lot of the pre-qualification, but yes, you do have to um, go nurture those leads. And it's a networking app. You're supposed to meet people, connect, and form lifelong business relationships. So that's what it is, and it does. It takes out the it takes out the having to sit at a table, bringing out, pulling out your business card, and wondering how to
yeah.
break the ice.
Right, right.
uh,
Takes
uh,
that pressure
uh,
off.
yeah, the heartburn or whatever people would get. Uh, that not even that expensive lunch makes up for it,
Oh
but
yeah.
it takes that away. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh,
Awesome. So, like what, like I know that you're still in the process or in the like data process now, but can you share with us like some of the feedback that you've been getting from entrepreneurs who have experienced My Buzz Buddy?
we actually this is May. I was actually I have a call which I had the call today. It got pushed to Thursday. I have a call with my app developer, and we are going to be beta testing this month. The target
Okay.
is third and or fourth week in May. Um, I wish I could. Let me see. I don't know if I can show you. I put they had me put the app. It's been on here for about 2 3 weeks now. Um, where they had. I can't. I don't know how I can show you. Can you even see my screen?
You might have to
The
put your
light.
hand above it like that. Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
You see the purple buzz buddy
Yes.
right there?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did ask my developer if he could help me find a way where I could actually share my phone. Um, do you see that? The sign in page. Do you see
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the light
So
is a little
you
too
should
bright.
have a well, I'm not sure. I have an iPhone, but it has a screen record setting. If you like pull down the
Mhm.
top, it has a
Yeah.
screen record setting.
That's something I have to do. I went on Google or and YouTube the other day, but
Mm-hmm.
There it is. I went
Okay.
on Google and YouTube the other day to find videos for how to record your screen. So
Oh yeah.
we'll see. But my app developer, he's the tech one. That's why I paid him a ton of money. But he's gonna he said he's gonna record the screen for me, or show me how to do it. But
Okay.
he postponed today's meeting. But it really is a cool app. There are a lot of features. We have assistant sharing on it, where you can actually sign up to have a VA. And that also
Oh
leads into what
wow.
we were talking about, being consistent in your networking and your marketing. So
Mm-hmm.
you can actually sign up a VA at no extra charge, to help you with your feed and staying consistent and following up with your matches or whatever you want to have the VA do. We have profile hop events, which
Mm-hmm.
are those are events that, while you get your matches quarterly for people that you're looking for, people that when you sign up, you say, these are the kind of people I want to get matched with the hop events, you're gonna register for an hop event, and then you're gonna get, I don't want to use the word match, because you're gonna get um, put in a room, sort of, for lack of a better word, with 10 to 20 random people. And that's also just to grow your visibility, where now you're getting your matches and you're nurturing your matches and doing what you need to do. But here we are, we also want other people on the app who would normally not be matched with you to meet you and get to know you. And so we do
Mm.
these quarterly events where you get in a room with random people, you start a conversation, you what do you do and things like that, and you get to know each other. And the whole premise is really that we're very big on lead generation and visibility. And so the whole premise is really in growing your online footprint,
Mm.
where you're getting your matches for lead generation and collaboration or whatever else you're doing. But once a quarter, we're going to say, here, if you want to register for a hop event, you can meet random people on the app as well, and get to connect with them as well, and tell them what you do and see what they do. And so we have some features. You can boost your profile, just a lot of features that I'm excited about. And in a couple weeks here, um, and the plan is that we're going to be in the App Store, Google Store, and iPhone for uh, somewhere by July. That's the goal.
Awesome. And that hop event, that's a great way to create buzz around your business. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it it is absolutely. Yeah.
Now you have a full plate, like just from what you told me today. You're a wife, you're a mom, you're a geologist, you're an entrepreneur. Um, how how is it being a working mom, and I don't even want to say balance, but how do you manage everything?
That's ask me what the inspiration for my buzz buddy was. Yeah, that's what the inspiration was. And why do you think I put assistant sharing in there, where you
Yeah,
can have an assistant?
exactly,
Why
exactly.
do you think? And why do you think I'm saying take a whole quarter to go nurture these matches? Take your time. Just make sure you convert them. Just take
Yeah.
your time. Don't kill yourself and get overwhelmed. If
Mm-hmm.
you if you can convert 4 to 5 people um a month or a quarter, that is a lot. And that is
Mm-hmm.
very good. So take your time and do it. Why do you think?
Right.
So that is me being a mom and a businesswoman, and just thinking of, okay, what's gonna help, because really, and one of the things I use the graphics is, you have a networking meeting across town and your babysitter cancels last minute. What are you gonna do?
Right.
And
Right.
so if you have my buzz buddy, you don't even have to worry about it. You pull out your phone and you're networking on your phone. So, but it actually, I would say, the last few months, I am finding balance. It's not, I'm not going to pretend that, like I've just being honest with myself and everyone else, something has to give.
Mm-hmm.
Something really has to give. Something will suffer. And for most of us, because as women, we always put ourselves last. Usually you do. I mean, you do without sleep. You're up at night when everyone else is sleeping. And so you fulfill your duties to everyone else during the day. And rather than sleep, now you're building your business. I've done that,
Mm-hmm.
been there, done that. Most of us have. And the plan is that you don't have to do that for too long, and you can quickly scale and set systems in place. Um, so I'm thankful for that. But when you, I mean, something usually has to give where you just have to figure out a way around it. It could be sleep, it could be time, it could be, and you just have to decide. I think a lot of us, I do my best not to take away from family time,
Mm-hmm.
but I still feel like I did do that. And like I said, the last few months, it's, I, with me setting systems in place, it's a lot better. And then just with the time management and time blocking, like now, I told you when we started, I said once it's a certain time, 7 o'clock, my family gets home and it's family time. So I consciously schedule meetings and calls and things around when um, they're not, like, I don't have to take away from family time. Um, and with this staying up at night to get stuff done,
Mm-hmm.
um, until you can afford a VA. Praise
Right.
God for VAs. And
Right.
now we can get some sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yes, yeah. So it is really what has worked for me is with the time blocking. I just made sure, and um, did my group grow slower because of it? Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
because I would go live in the mornings because that's when my family is at school, or you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Knowing that I probably would have more viewership if I went live in the evening
In the
time,
evening.
but
Mm-hmm.
choosing to leave the evenings free for family for when family's home. So it's choices that you consciously make, and then you block off time and say from 10 to 12, this is what I'm going to be doing for, and just trying to make sure that you manage your time as effectively as possible, and prioritize, always prioritize, and decide if something has to give, what is lesser priority for you. For me, um it was, I don't want to say my group was lesser priority because that's wrong, but it was more important to me to spend my evenings with my family. So the group growth or the lives and the stuff typically would come during the day, even though I knew most people are not available, but I would just be like, okay, they can catch the replay. And so
Right.
you just, you, and it's going to be different for everybody. Not everybody's situation is going to be like mine.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might not even have to make the same choices. They might not have kids. They might not be married. They might not, so
Right.
I think it's just for us recognizing what's priority and what do we want to make priority and what do we choose, and but also being sure not to neglect either. You just you just set a schedule or something, but don't leave one off,
Right.
and just and then just do your best to prioritize and stay consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just talking to well, one of my business partners, and we were doing a live, and I was talking about how it was so hard for me to grasp at first, 3 years ago when I first became a mom, like, why can't I do all of this stuff like I used to do? And
Yeah.
I really had to like accept that. And like you
Yeah.
said, you just kind of had to get it in where you fit it in.
Yeah.
Eventually it gets a little better, but eventually you come to the realization, like you said, that I don't, I can't do it all alone, and I
Yeah.
don't want to do it all alone anymore. So
Yeah.
it's people out there to help you, and
Yeah.
and your app is going to be one of those things, those delegation automation
Absolutely. That's
things.
why that's why you were like, I was like, why do you think I came up with the app?
Absolutely.
Why do you think I came up with it? It addresses my pain points.
Hmm. Hmm. And a lot of moms
Mm,
would feel the same
mm.
way.
We do have right now we're doing early bird signups. So um we're giving it's about 80% off. I don't know the exact, maybe a little less or a little more. Actually, I think it's a little more is what Crystal told me. But right now, if people want to sign up early, um um for the app before we go in the app store, they will get it at about 80% off
Okay.
if they want to sign up now. And they just have to go to mybuzzbuddy.com and check it out. I would love feedback as well. To be honest, I would love feedback. Really, really cannot wait to launch.
Okay. So share with my audience like the best way to connect, or you told them to go to mybuzzbuddy.com if they want to the early bird access to the app. But also like how can they provide you feedback if they want to provide feedback also.
Yeah, I do have a Facebook group. And if you do too, maybe we can talk like I would love to join your group if you have one. But I do have a Facebook group. It's called Women Entrepreneurs Business Growth Strategies, because
Okay.
that's my thing. It's a little mouthful, but and so you can find me on Facebook or even my business page, which is Sister Buzz. It's at Growth Buzz. Um, you can connect with me that way. Sisterbuzz.com is my website. And Sister Buzz is the parent company for My Buzz Buddy. So you see the theme of Buzz.
Right. Right.
So they can go to either sisterbuzz.com or they can go to mybuzzbuddy.com, and they can connect with me there. Um, Either one would be a good way to connect with me. Mm.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been a blast getting to know you and getting to know about your company and my Buzz Buddy, your new app coming out. I appreciate you joining me on our platform, joining Dreamers Den podcast today. And I look forward to you coming back, like you said in the beginning.
Yeah, I do. I will. I will definitely. I had a great time. I had a blast, and uh, great job. I think you, um, you're a natural actually. So, but I enjoyed um the podcast and hanging out with you this past hour. I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.